Doodle bud. In case the internet didn't already have enough reviews of the Lamy 2000, here is mine. Anyways, I'll make it pretty quick. I'm going to do a little writing sample with some other nibs, and this is in an extra fine, just to give you a nib comparison, maybe just to make that slightly different. But there's no shortage of high quality reviews of this pen online. If you want a high quality review, don't come here. These are all shot in one take, no editing, on my cell phone. You can find a nicer video, but let's just run through it. Nice clip, great construction, feels great in the hand, nice kind of tactile feeling to it. Piston filler, you can see that tiny fine line is the break point there actually for the piston knob. So really nice tolerances. You do not feel it, barely feel it with your fingernail, which says a lot if you can barely feel that with your fingernail. Build quality is great. Slip cap has a nice little click sound. It's very satisfying. I do this a lot with the pen, just one-handed or two-handed. It just for whatever reason feels nice. Yeah, you got these little metal ears here on each side, which catches on that cap. You can see there's a couple little bars on there, so it catches on there. It fits nice, posts nicely. That's one thing that's kind of annoying with some pens. They don't post really deep. It's just like here, you worry about it flying off. This is just the perfect, fit, nice pressure fit. These don't bug you when you're writing, even if you hold up high. They're so small as it is. Most people are somewhere around here. That might be the only gripe you have with the pen. But you know what when you're ordering it, because I'm assuming you look at it before you buy it online here. I mean, a few reviews, everyone will say it's sort of tapered down. It doesn't have that little flange at the end, so you don't. Some people, should I hold it here? Should I hold it here? You hold it wherever you like. So, other than that, though, I mean, yeah, it's a great pen. Little ink window. Piston filler. This might be like your first 14K gold nib, or gold nib, outside of a steel nib, or maybe your first sort of expensive pen, something like that. You can't really go wrong with it. There's lots of nib options. It's a hooded nib, so if you want to get a gold nib for a nice, cool, sexy nib look, this would not be the pen for that. But it writes very well. And let's just get to it super quick. Then we'll just do a little line width comparison. So if you're debating about whether you should get an extra fine, what does it look like with other nibs, maybe this video will help you out. So this is my very own Lamy 2000. And this is in an extra fine. Right? As far as variation, I don't know. Get a flex pen if you want variation. It gets a little darker if you press a little bit. That's all you're getting. But for an extra fine, it's quite smooth. It's reasonably wet. Lays down decent ink. Never had a problem with that. This thing just writes. I don't know. I probably hadn't written with this pen for a week or two or something, and just wrote right away. Oh yeah, one thing I do get is typically I will get a little bit of condensation on the nib with this pen. Sometimes you get that. This pen I typically always get a little bit. Doesn't seem to cause any issues, but just thought I would mention that. But let's just do a quick comparison for nib widths, and we'll just take it from there. So this is an extra fine. And let's just do a couple letters and numbers and some hatches. Try to stay consistent. And I don't know, we'll do the quick brown fox in cursive. Okay, so that's the 2000. We'll do the L2000, obviously. Saw that happen. If you're wondering, the ink, Robert Oster, Thunderstorm. We'll go up next to, I have a previous review. This is a Pelikan. So this is an M805, and this is an extra fine. Okay, we'll just do this real quick as well. Pretty close for nib widths. I'll do a close-up and maybe do a pattern where it's all in between so you can see a real close difference between nib widths. Okay, you can see there, it's pretty close to each other. Put that aside for a second. I also got, from my previous review, Diplomat Aero. This is an extra fine. Now, if you can probably see already, this one's a little finer. So the Diplomat Aero with the extra fine is a super fine, fine nib. I keep missing the eye. I don't know what's going on. I usually draw my cues differently, but I started it. Normally I do this and just would go straight into it, but whatever. Screwed up on the first one, so I want to stay consistent. So definitely a little bit finer with the Diplomat Aero. And one last one to compare. This is just a fine nib. And there we go. Again, you've seen this in a previous review. This is the Faber Castell Ondoro. And this is an extra fine. Sorry, just a fine. Okay, so let's just do, so you can see the Faber fine is pretty close to the Lamy 2000 extra fine and the Pelikan M805 fine extra fine, and the Diplomat Aero is by far the finest. Let's, I guess we can do it right down. Let's just flip the page here so I can do a little bit closer. We'll just do a comparison. Okay, so this is the Ondoro. This will be the 2000. This will be the Pelikan. This is 805. And finally the Diplomat. That's the Aero. So we take a look, try to get you fairly close. You see the 2000 and the 805 are pretty close to each other. Aero is definitely the finest, but the Ondoro, their fine is pretty tight as well. I would say it's even finer than the Lamy and the Pelikan. So yeah, just gives you a little bit of an idea. You can see they're fairly close, but Diplomat's definitely the finest, and I would say the Faber fine is actually a touch finer than the other ones as well. So I'll try to do, let's just do it in order, I think, of finest. Finest to fattest. These two are about the same. I'm trying to do this real quick. It's sloppy, I know, but just trying to do it as quick as I can, so we don't drag on too long, which we already have. But there you go. Give you an idea of what we're reviewing. The Lamy 2000, how it stacks up against some other extra fine or fine nibs as well. Pen, get whatever width you want, of course, but I would definitely recommend it. I'd say you really couldn't go wrong with this pen. It's just a stand-up pen, always performs, well built, feels great, looks great. Piston filler, all those other things you can see great reviews on as well. Anyways, again, I'll try to either repost this or I'll do a nicer drawing, and I'll put that on my Instagram as well, so it's there as a reference. So follow me on there as well. Look for the Doodle Bud, and have a good one.